Welcome all of you dear students in our most favorite YouTube channel Physics Make It Simple by Dr. Rajendra Kovarne. At first, heartiest congratulations all of you that you have registered your name in 11 Science. And today is our opening lecture as long as the physics syllabus is concerned, and the name of our first chapter is Units and Measurements that I have written on the board. Okay. So I want to ask initial question to all of you that what is physical quantity? Okay. So before asking what is physical quantity, I want to ask you how happy you are. If I will ask you such a question, how happy you are, then you are not able to say I am 10 kilogram happy, I am 2 liter happy. No, because happiness is not measurable quantitatively. We cannot measure in terms of kilogram, in terms of liter, because no doubt happiness we can measure in terms of our expressions, in terms of our emotions. From that we judge ourselves how happy we are. But happiness is not measurable quantitatively. Happiness is measurable qualitatively by making use of expressions, by our emotions. And so that happiness is not a physical quantity. Then what is physical quantity? Physical quantity is a quantity which is measurable, which can be useful to state laws of science. By making use of physical quantity, we can derive various equations, just like F is equal to ma, force is equal to mass into acceleration, velocity is equal to displacement upon time, power is equal to work upon time, like this. So these all equations we can derive, we can put with the help of physical quantity. So what is our definition of physical quantity, dear students? Physical quantity is a quantity which is measurable quantitatively, and which is very useful to state various laws of science and derive various equations. That is physical quantity. So mass, velocity, force, density, momentum, power, work, electric current, that all are called as physical quantities. Okay. Then after learning the definition of physical quantity that I have already written on the board, now we have to learn what is unit. What is unit? So before learning the definition of unit, we should know this formula. Physical quantity is equal to numeric value into unit. PQ, physical quantity, is equal to NU. So I have written one example for your well understanding. Mass of sugar is equal to 100 kg. Here mass is a physical quantity. 100 is a numeric value, that is the N. N is equal to 100 numeric value, and this kg we call it as unit, or it is also called as reference standard. And so that for preparing a definition of unit, we can prepare it a reference standard used for the measurement of any physical quantity is known as unit of that physical quantity. So here kilogram is a unit of mass, Kilogram is a unit of mass. Kilogram is a SI unit of mass after all. Okay. So that kilogram is a reference standard which is used for the measurement of mass, and so that reference standard is called as unit. I will repeat again the definition of unit. A reference standard used for the measurement of any physical quantity is called as unit of that physical quantity. That is the definition of unit. Okay. Then after learning the definition of unit, we have to learn systems of unit. There are various systems of unit for the measurement of different physical quantities. Different ways to express, to measure different physical quantities are called as systems of unit. There are 4 systems of unit. Number 1, FPS system. F, foot, pound, second system, that I have written here. It is also called as British engineering system. FPS system, or it is also called as British engineering system. Remember well, dear student. So here FPS, foot, pound, second system. In this system, unit of length is foot, unit of length is foot, unit of mass is pound, and unit of time is second. This is FPS system. Okay. After learning FPS system, the second system we call it as Cgs system, or it is also called as Gaussian system. It is also called as Gaussian system. Gaussian, Gaussian system. C, centimeter, G, gram, S, second system. Centimeter, gram, second system. It is called as Cgs system or Gaussian system. Here that I have written here, unit of length is centimeter, unit of mass is gram, unit of time is second. After learning Cgs system, the next system is MKS system, meter, kilogram, second system. MKS system. In this system, unit of length is meter, unit of mass is kilogram, and unit of time is second, like this. So this is kilogram, meter, kilogram, second system. Meter, kilogram, second system. That is MKS system. And finally, the last system is SI system. We call it as international system. International system. So in 1971, 14th International General Conference is held, and in 14th General Conference, 14th International General Conference, this SI system is to be accepted. We call it as international system. It is very useful system because this system is used to develop a common link between different scientists of different countries. So all scientists of all countries have accepted a unique system. We call it as international system, that is SI system. It is also called as what? Modification of MKS system. Modification of MKS system. It is also called as rationalized MKS system. Rationalized MKS system. And this international system is very useful, that I have already told you, that to develop a common link between different scientists of different countries. So this is accepted all over the world. And then after learning that all systems, we have to learn 2 definitions. Number 1, fundamental physical quantities. Remember well, dear students, there are only 7 fundamental physical quantities. Only 7. Very few. That quantities don't depend upon any other physical quantities for their measurement. They don't depend. Suppose mass. Mass does not depend upon any other quantity for its measurement. Time not depend upon any other physical quantity. So the definition of fundamental quantity is very few physical quantities, only 7, into bracket only 7, which are don't depend upon any other physical quantities for their measurement. Such a quantities are called as fundamental quantities. There are only 7 fundamental quantities, dear students, remember well. Mass, length, time, temperature, luminous intensity, electric current, amount of substance. Remember well. Mass, length, time, temperature, luminous intensity, electric current, amount of substance. These are only 7 quantities are called as fundamental physical quantities. Remaining all we call it as derived quantities. So most of the physical quantities which depend upon at least 2 or more than 2 fundamental quantities for their measurement. So derived quantity is dependent. It is depending to 2 or more than 2 fundamental quantities for their measurement. Suppose velocity, what is the formula of velocity? Velocity is equal to length upon time. So velocity depends upon 2 fundamental quantities, which are the 2, length and time. So velocity is treated as a derived quantity. Velocity is treated as a derived quantity. Acceleration. The formula of acceleration is change in velocity upon time. Again, change in velocity is nothing but the displacement upon time. So displacement upon time into time, that is acceleration. So 2 times and 1 displacement, 3 physical quantities are there, or 2 physical quantities, time into time, we treat it as 1 physical quantity. Displacement upon time square, we get acceleration. So most of the physical quantities which depend upon at least 2 or more than 2 physical quantities for their measurement, we call it as derived quantities. There are so much derived quantities that I have written. For example, what is that examples? Density, velocity, force, acceleration, momentum, that all are volume, that all quantities are treated as a derived physical quantities. So what we have learnt today in our opening lecture? In our opening lecture, we learn what is physical quantity. What is physical quantity? What is the definition of unit? Then types of systems of unit. FPS system, Cgs system, MKS system, SI system, and then 2 definitions: fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities. So it is sufficient for today, and we will meet again in the next lecture by taking new articles. Till we will stop here. Goodbye, and subscribe my channel. Name of my channel is Physics Make It Simple by Dr. Rajendra Kobarne. After subscribing you will get new notification when I will upload new video to you. Goodbye. We will stop here.